Welcome back to 90 Seconds Plus with Invercargill City Mayor Nobby Clark. So Nobby, let's kick off with a timetable for the museum because it's starting to take shape now.
Sure.
So can you walk us through that?
A bit of controversy in that area at the moment. Expectation of elected members was that it would be open in the latter part of 2026. Some staff are suggesting it could be into 2027. So I think there will be a number of elected members that will want to claw that back. So next Tuesday's meeting has a report in there that pushes it out a little bit and suggests that the delays are being caused by iwi's inability to get on board with what goes in there as well. And I'm not tolerant of either of those two. So I guess we may very well have a line in the sand where if the numbers that are on the table are such that we will just say to the Chief Executive and the senior staff, it will be open by this date. And they just got to get on and tell us how to do it. If not, we probably need to find somebody who can get it open for us. Yeah. So that's a bit of a challenge coming forward.
And people, still on budget and in time.
Yeah, well, I mean, we've had a bit of slippage. The main part of the build was meant to be done by the end of December this year. It looks like it'll be mid-February, so if you take out Christmas break, it's about 4 or 5 weeks late. But Nail of Love have done really well. They're right on top of it. They're doing the west wing, which is the main part of the museum. The east wing doesn't look as though much is going on, so they're doing the west wing first. So the Gibson group, which are the ones doing the design of the fit out, can get on and do their work, and then they'll concentrate on the east wing, which is cafe, education area and staffing area with the sloping roof. So they're doing it in 2 bits, which is great. That allows the fit out to start. But we're not ready to do the fit out yet, so that needs a bit of a hurry up.
I think it'd be great in a few months' time, maybe start planning it, would be for to have a public day where, like they did when they were halfway through or part way through Invercargill Central, for the public to have a day through, we could have a walk round. Obviously it's all buried or in safe places, so it's all safe and health and safety and all that.
I have suggested that to Nail of Love, who are the contractors on site, but I'll have to do that next week, next Tuesday's meeting, with the senior staff to say that the west ring is impressive. It's a big piece of real estate, and people should go and be able to go on one of the weekend days and have a look around. I think it'd be great just on a Saturday, just for the day public, like they did here for them. As I said, for Invercargill Central, it was great. Well, there's ways of getting there. If you're getting a bit pushed for time around construction, and in New Zealand most construction is Monday to Friday, you just say to the contractor, we want you guys to work one day of the weekend till we catch up or make up some time. It comes at a cost. Bit of overtime to be paid, so be it. We cannot afford to have this dragging out to 2027.
It just seems they never ended.
Been close for way too long.
So other things coming up, I guess, would be rate caps and amalgamation.
Sure.
So let's kick off with the rate caps.
No, do the amalgamation first. The amalgamation. So that's already on its way. So the Local Government Commission is a body that's not part of government, but it is a government agency, and it looks about where councils can amalgamate. The history has shown that even though councils might want to amalgamate, they often don't get the approval. So a good example was the 3 and Wairarapa tried and didn't get it. The Commission didn't approve it, but they're trying again. Southern Hawke's Bay is also the same thing as well. Didn't get it, but are trying again. We've got Southern District are throwing up 2 unitary authorities. So they're saying not one big one, just 2. I don't think it'll get legs. Certainly the city won't agree to that, I wouldn't think. And I don't think Gore's interested in any sort of amalgamation with either the district council or with the city council. They'll look potentially to other connections. But when you think about it, there's only 40,000 people live rurally in Southland. Why would you take the existing council that services them and just amalgamate Environment Southland into them, which is the regional authority? Now, the big global picture is the government want fewer councils. And in recent times, you've heard some senior ministers talk about they want rid of the regional councils. So that's Environment Southland, Otago Regional Council, because they think they're too focused on environmental stuff and they tend to hold up economic development. And
the Otago one's out of control.
Well, you can see the stuff that's gone on in the media in the last couple of days with Shane Jones calling them all kinds of names because they won't extend a mining licence because it might interfere with some sort of moth or something. I mean, it's
getting absurd.
It is. So I think there'll be pressure to collapse those into amalgamated councils. The sceptic in me says that while government might be keen to reduce the 67 councils, which includes the regionals, down to about 2025, they won't be in that much of a hurry, I don't think, because government doesn't control that. They can just encourage. So, because what would happen is, at the moment, Parliament's made up of 60 electorate MPs and 60 party MPs. That's 120. Look at the electorate ones. We've got 67 councils and about 60 electorate MPs. Not too bad. If you've only got 25 councils, how many electorate MPs do you need? Well, I'd argue you only need to have 25. And 25, so Parliament would be 50. Or 50 or 60 MPs, not 120.
To be honest, it might be better.
Wouldn't that be a good thing?
It could be. I think.
So that creates all kinds of dynamics for them because there's some self-preservation in there for some.
A lot of them want to lose their meal ticket.
Correct. So that's coming anyway. I think the amalgamation. It's just a matter of time. The other issue is the issue of rate capping. So what the government's saying is that they are really keen on that. They think that ongoing rate increases by local government is too high, and I agree with that. And you know that I tried to keep ours very low this time around and was unsuccessful, didn't have the numbers. But I got it down from where it was, so we had some middle ground, but I still would have liked it to be lower, closer to the inflation rate. Interesting that Wanganui, which is very similar in size to us, has committed to 2.2%, which is the inflation rate, and committed to that for the next 3 years as well. So, because you often hear people say, staff say it, and some conservative elected members also say, oh, well, if you get 2% this year, it'll be 10 or 12 next year. You'll have to catch up. You're just kicking the can down the road.
I always thought that.
Well, that's a load of rubbish, because in 2021 or 2, I was able here, when I was deputy mayor, to be able to get the rates down to 2%. And the following years, we were still some of the lowest in New Zealand. So it didn't kick the can down the road. I think that's an absolute nonsense. Now, local government New Zealand are opposed to it, and I actually support them, which I wouldn't normally do on this issue, because what the government is saying is that they're going to cap non-core business. So core business is your roads, your libraries, your three waters and stuff like that. And the others, which you'll hear some of my colleagues refer to as vanity projects, like museums, I still think a museum's core business. But building a conference centre or something like that, the government is saying they want to cap that, what they call luxury stuff.
They would include the slush fund, the community slush, $500,000 there.
But if you go the other way and look at what they're doing in Australia, so New South Wales had rate capping for 50 years, Victoria for about 17 or 18 years, they do it the other way around. They cap the core business. So they just say to you, for your roads and for your three waters and running your libraries and whatever your core business is, you are going to get no more than the inflation rate. Why should you? And I agree with that. Then if you want to do any luxury or vanity stuff that's outside the core or non-core business, you have to apply to the regulator to get it. So in our case, we could have gone to them and said, look, our library, our museum's been closed for 8-9 years. We need to have something that tells the history of Southland. And we probably would have got approval to have an increase in our rates to be able to afford to borrow the money and then to pay it back. But the other side of this, some councils have quite a bit of money sitting in the bank. So in our case, I think we have somewhere between $45 and $50 million sitting in there. So that doesn't rub well with the ratepayers who are asked to put an extra $2 or $3 million a year into the kitty, and it compounds when they see that amount of money sitting there. So I think rate capping will come. I just think the government's got it the wrong way around. They should cap the core business and then say, because this is what happens in Victoria, and then you have to go out cap in hand to the regulator and say, look, I've got a special project here. I might want to contribute to a new hospital or whatever. So I think that needs to come. And I think the other big thing that's on the horizon for us is Air New Zealand. So we've got no direct flights to Wellington at the moment. And Air New Zealand will tell you that all the flights off the main trunks, which use the jets, so all those planes, the ATRs that come in here, they all lose money. Now, in Australia, the federal government there pays Qantas to go out to those outlying areas. And one of the things that grates me is that we in Southland produce 17% of the national GDP with 2% of the population. So on a population base, we don't get enough for our roads.
We punch above the weight.
Correct. But we don't get our share of the taxes back. And so one way to have that connectedness is to say, well, hey, the major shareholder in Air New Zealand is the government, as it is in Meridian Power. So they should use that to say, actually, we will inject some taxpayer money in to keep these rural connections open. Because otherwise you have to go to Air Chathams and smaller ones like that, which is all very well, but they struggle as well. Because everybody's in the same thing. And I heard an interesting piece of statistic yesterday, which was that the big companies like the Boeings, who might make the new airplanes or the new friendly fuel planes or whatever you want to call them, are backing away a little bit now, because with the EU or NATO saying they're going to put 5% of their GDP into defence, these big aircraft companies are now wanting to build more fighter planes. That's where the money's going.
Where the coin is,
It is, not into small 30-seater planes going from Invercargill to Queenstown, which I'd love to have, so that people could fly into Invercargill and fly out of Queenstown, or the other way around, and in between those two sites we get some tourism. But the economics are not there for that. So that's another area that I think in the future there may be some movement. But certainly amalgamation and rate cappings is not too far away, I don't think.
It's definitely coming.
Yep.
All right, that's 90 Seconds Plus with the Invercargill City Mayor Nobby Clark. Until next week, we'll see you later.